till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of A to Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on the better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. I can run this town. Don't you know I got the Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
We almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.
Welcome back to the ESL Challenger League. We continue on with the second cup for season 50, the Asian division. I'm T-Time, joined by Michael, Yumi, Cassidy, as we try and find out who the second contender for the Asian region will be to go to the regional final and play for a spot at ESL Pro League. Michael, how are we feeling about this today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. From the first cup, we had Lin Vision prevailing through, and that's a very, very strong team for the region. And I think the objective and what I want to see out of the region is that we actually do have the best contending teams we possibly can. And, you know, they should be snapshots of how strong the region can be, what the strongest teams are at the time. And I think, you know, Lin Vision is a good categorization, or rather falls within that category as well. So I love that we have that as a first representation. But there are other teams that are still in contention here that have been doing quite well as of late.
Let's take a look at the bracket over here. We do, of course, have a lot of teams coming into the cup. Can't cover all of them, so we've come down towards the upper bracket and lower bracket final, as well as the grand final that will be covered on stream. Today, it's going to be starting off with Rare Atom versus Chinggis Warriors, the current number 6 and number 7 of the VRS Asian rankings. In the lower bracket, the Huns await to find out who will fall today. And, of course, grand finals, guys, you know it. You've been there before. Double elimination means grand finals are going to be epic. But before we can get there, we have to look at Rare Atom and Chinggis Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, both two really strong teams and ones that have undergone quite a few roster moves as of late. You know, with Rare Atom, the conversation with them at the start of the year was actually them missing out on making it to the major and trying to get through into that cycle. And there was conversations at the time about whether or not that 5 would stay together, and lo and behold, they make some of the changes that I think we kind of anticipated, but they bring in Tiger into this roster, and it has really bolstered their firepower. And I don't know that the strategies look quite as well rehearsed and the cohesion looks as good, but they are definitely adding some extra punch, and it's doing a lot to actually bring up the level of some of the other sort of star riflers. It's giving them more room to have these bigger moments, actually.
And when we talk about Rare Atom, we would be amiss not to mention our Qiddiya player to watch. It will be Child King, of course, the one who has been here even before Tiger's helping hand was brought in, a consistent factor At least that's what I'd like to say. It does feel like he's not been able to have quite the same level of impact ever since Tiger's addition, but he still is an incredibly influential player, will be very important going forward in this series. Up against Chinggis Warriors, though, I think we do have a head-to-head over here as well, and it's natural to see that it probably will be between Coolest and Tiger. Michael, this is an interesting matchup when you actually look down towards those individual players. Tiger, of course, a player who in some ways has the AWP taken away from him, but will still sometimes be AWPing. Coolest, of course, given a lot more control over what he wants to do in this lineup.
Yeah, and, you know, I think the better comparison actually might have been Tiger and Trash, because Tiger is better than Trash, because that was also another thing that Rare Atom seemed to be going through themselves. And, you know, for the Chinggis Warriors, they tried to make roster moves. They tried to stray away from players like Coolest. You know, he was on loan from IHC, and then he went back to them, and then he is back now with the Chinggis Warriors. And it's cool that they have recognized that he was actually a very strong asset for them, because it almost felt unceremonious that he didn't stick with the team given the rise that the Chinggis Warriors had with him on the roster. So yeah, I do think that the resource battle between Tiger and Coolest will be quite interesting to watch, just simply because they're both quite, you know, imposing figures on the server, I'd say.
Last time these two teams played up against each other was in the ESL Challenger League Season 49. You've got the scores on your screen. That was, of course, with Rare Atom having a stand-in. So the fact that their coach, ZAZ, was standing in for them, and they still managed to make it a 3-map series, that's not going to be particularly reassuring if you're a Chinggis Warriors fan. Still, Rare Atom recently have been rattled somewhat as well. But when you look over towards Veto and, you know, the map pool in particular for Chinggis Warriors, I will say some of these win rates are going to be inflated. This is always the truth of the Asian region, is that the top teams punch down very hard.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's curious here is that, you know, the Chinggis Warriors have also changed the way that they've done their vetoing, because they used to permaban Mirage, and they were a team that loved to pick into Anubis, but obviously with the way that the map pool is shifted, they've now changed that to Train, and they've been embracing that Mirage, which has been going okay for them so far. I wouldn't say they've faced off against the strongest of opposition on that map as of yet, and the one team that they have faced that's, I'd say, comparable to their level did actually beat them on the map. So I think there's still repetitions to go through and to adapt, but they're having to make, I mean, not only the adaptations to their roster and the resources that they have, but also their map pool as well.
Well, Chinggis will be going into an ancient pick for themselves. Rare Atom will be countering that one out with Mirage. I've got the veto on my screen, Michael. I won't lie to you. I'm not predicting this one perfectly. And then the decider will be Inferno over here. Mirage being picked up by Rare Atom, like you mentioned already, that, you know, Chinggis Warriors have been experimenting with this more so. But for me, in my head, one of the things I immediately think of is Tiger, Kaze, double op comes in. Child King can be very aggressive on this as well. It does feel like a very natural Mirage team for Rare Atom, but they've also not been tested against any of the top teams on this map. Yeah,
that's something I maybe didn't really consider, and it's something that is definitely worth talking about, because, you know, Rare Atom, they've gone through many different looks, and I think, you know, when I look at players like Kaze, or I look at, you know, Child King, I think they come from very different worlds. You know, Kaze was always playing very much within structures and playing very textbook, borderline boring Counter-Strike, whereas Child King has never really lived that life, and neither have, you know, really players like Summer, like Tiger. And so, like, the philosophy does change quite considerably just in how they play. You know, I wouldn't typically, I guess, characterize Kaze to be a B-Apps AWPer on a map like Mirage, for example. But given the way that this team is constructed, that's probably his type of role. You know, sit ticket and AWP there for the entire round on the A-bomb side, or just hold on to try and basically hold on to one of the extremes of the map with that AWP. And, you know, then you give more room for your other more electrifying pieces to do what they do best. So I do think this is going to be a bit of a clash of philosophies, but both teams are kind of embracing this faster-paced variant to Counter-Strike that we're seeing prevail in Tier 1 Counter-Strike today.
And when you actually compare the players in Chinggis, Warriors, and Reatom, it does feel like Chinggis is likely much more suited to it, right? Obviously, we've talked about Coolest, but then you look out towards Rooks and Yami and Controllers. All of these players can be hyper aggressive on their own peaks. They can make their own plays. They're very good at taking control of an area of the map. The only player who I think I would characterize slightly more defensive would be Ariukul, and even he's a younger talent who, you know, has had questions about his numbers, but can always pop off for a map or two. Right now, when I look out towards the veto and the way it's spanned out, Ancient and Mirage, the first two that start things off, it does feel like stylistically Chinggis Warriors are in a very good place.
Well, that's also the thing with the Chinggis Warriors, is that they're also undergoing some, I mean, with the Coolest and Yami coming into this roster. Coolest is a returning player, so they're more familiar with him, but in the integration of Yami, Ariukul is actually going in for a lot more entry attempts than I think I've ever really seen this player do. You know, if you're going to talk about him as a passive piece, he actually does like push himself into forward-facing duels on that T side more so than I think I've ever really seen before. So that may be some of the growing pains for the Chinggis Warriors, but there's that head-to-head between Coolest and Tiger. They're both players that we're going to be keeping our eye out for a lot, but they are going to be wielding that AWP. They're going to go for a lot of aggressive fights. They will re-peak. They will take duels, and I can only hope the success for both of them, because they're both they're interesting pieces to look at in the Asian circuit, because Coolest seems like he has a good ceiling. Tiger seems like he has a good ceiling, but we don't know whether or not they'll scale up and, you know, get these opportunities on some of the bigger teams, because they're obviously this stern competition as you rise through those ranks.
It's also very interesting when you actually look out towards their stories and you compare it to other, you know, sort of budding oppers who are coming up. You look back towards CSGO, ops could obviously still take control over the entire server. Players like Annihilation and whatnot from the Mongolian region, players like Dan King from the Chinese scene, were able to actually brute force their teams forward to a large extent. It's a lot harder to do in CS2 right now, but in Asia specifically, it does still feel like, hey, having the better opper is still a massive advantage in a pool that, in a region that's never been celebrated for its oppers in the same way as what we have had in terms of rifling talent. You even have to look at Mongols and say, hey, people do say 910 probably isn't quite that same piece. He's an X factor for sure, but he's not the same kind of player as like a Shiro, a Monacy, etc., where, you know, you can have sense conversations in the top 10 riflers and the like. So it's interesting to see how Coolest and Tiger will be performing and whether they can put themselves into a position where they can show that they're actually better than the rest of the pack. And for me, I'll be honest, Michael, as much as I have seen from Coolest and I have enjoyed from him, I've always felt like, you know, from the few months that now I've been keeping an eye on Tiger again, he might be the better player overall in terms of his potential ceiling, but I don't know if he can actually reach that versus Coolest. That's what we're going to have to wait to find out. We head into Ancient, map number 1 in this upper bracket final.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Tiger has shown great potential to really realize it on some of the bigger stages. We actually have Marek in the server in place of Kaze, which is not what I was expecting coming into this game. There's the limitations of not being able to have that secondary ult, but won't matter here on this pistol. Summer already gracing the scoreboard, but Controllers has taken space on that A play. Had a teammate coming in from CT, so that player was a dead man walking regardless, going to get sandwiched. And while there is control of middle here for Atom, the possibility of a retake does look quite bleak in a 2v3.
Tiger makes his move forward, still a player back towards the big box over in A side. Now this is where Tiger wants to take the double swing. Ariukul comes in from behind. Yami will be able to shut down Summer as well. Now, Marek's addition is really interesting because that does free up Summer from being the IGL in a lot of ways, is what I'm assuming. Marek's obviously been one of the more respected Chinese-speaking IGLs from the Tier 2 scene of Asia. It's always been a question of whether he can make it to Tier 1. It's a bad comparison to make in terms of reputation, but Hunden comes to mind in terms of growing talent to just send it up rather than ever going with it yourself. That's sort of the Marek identity in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's technically the assistant coach, right? Between, it was him and Zaitzi, I think, are the coaching staff. So don't imagine this is a long-term solution, more just the circumstance they find themselves in. And they find themselves against SMGs, here on their force buy. Controllers with 2 kills in middle, and with some space already towards that B-bomb site. They have firm access to lane, entrance to cave. Reatom are still reacting to the earlier middle bouts. The Chinggis Warriors don't look like they're going to fall into a trap or make any sudden mistakes.
Good position for Lihang. Will be able to start things off with a quick kill, but Yami's taking his time. That time isn't his anymore. Lihang continues to peak. A 5-7 that they've neglected, and a name that we might have done the same for as well. Always question about whether he can reach his heights, but right now the ceiling is his and his alone. Lihang continues to challenge on the other side. Nice Rooks. Will be able to get the kill. The trade is good. From Rooks is able to get both Marek and Lihang down. Risky business.
Yeah, I didn't think this was going to end up happening to the Chinggis Warriors. I don't think anything about their approach looked particularly terrible, but spacing fell apart when they started to make their way up ramp. They had a 2-man advantage, started throwing out all that util, and then when it came to actually getting into the bomb site and going with the proper pace as was intended, they get staggered and kind of fall victim to these 1v1s they keep giving that Lihang 5-7. Will incentivize a little bit of a buy here from Rare Atom, but they don't invest fully. They will ingress into A main, and there's a chance. Yeah, Summer's been overlooked, so a kill immediately, and there's the follow-up from Child King, just immediately getting his hands onto that Galil. Yami trapped inside of A main, and while he takes the dink, he will answer in kind with a headshot himself. Still 2 more players here on this A bomb site, and while they recover that bomb, they've lost another member, and they may even have to think about pulling away here. There's growing concerns and just not a lot of health on anyone. Lihang even tracking down Control as Yami has to try and slide himself away.
At the very least, there's not more weapons to be recovered, but that's slim consolation when you've got basically 8 HP, or rather red HP. Now we can make his way over because the smoke will actually put himself in a position to plant the bomb. Tiger is trying to prevent that from happening. Playing quite close to the side, can make his move and will choose not to. He knows that Yami is low. It's been calmed over. The child giving him the dink, and Tiger only needs to wait. Yami put down, AK is stolen back, and that round is not one Rare Atom was ever supposed to win.
Yeah, and it's compounded the problem that they had dealing with the Lihang 5-7 on that A-bomb site in the previous round, where they only get away with 2 survivors. So they got a bunch of the kills, and I actually think all of the kills on Mac 10's bar 1. And now they come into this round with a very limited buy, losing to, I mean, less. There was a less investment from Rare Atom that they've still been able to pull away a win out of. So, coming with 3 rifles and a couple of Tech 9s, they do have some util to burst into a bomb site, should that be the play, but they've already lost Coolest very early on.
Well, why stop at 1 when Summer can get 2? It's going to be follow-up from Lihang as he switches out for the A1, and he does so well to be able to continue fighting. Maybe fights for too long. In fact, Rooks shuts him down, but not without losing far too many men. Chinggis Warriors now on the back foot, 2 versus 3.
Yeah, took over Summer's M4 and just didn't realize how many bullets had been used, I guess, because Summer comes away with 2 kills, only for Lihang to run out of bullets on his second attempt. If we end up in another... This wasn't a half buy, this was a full investment from Chinggis, but far from an all bells and whistles full buy. The Chinggis Warriors could pull this round out of the hat. They have smokes available, they can segment off this site and they can secure a plant if they deem it necessary, but they're trying to contact out and they may have found a timing. Child King looking away for just a moment, but attention's drawn back over to short in time. And while Yami hits an incredible one-tap, he has some space to now make a play. Last seen on the bomb site itself, but Child King's trying to limit possibilities, and I think he's caught a glimpse. He's dead set on Yami taking position out on long, and he's now taking the place of Yami backside. Smoke at the cave, but as he goes to plant, there will Child King spring to action. A second round for Rare Atom back-to-back as Chinggis Warriors, their economies reset.
That's a great reposition coming out from Child King over here, and it did look like he was getting slightly uncomfortable in his roles on Ancient the last time we caught him there, but right now on the CT side especially, he is feeling flushed. Great job in just keeping awareness so that there could be a player creeping in through cave, but then after that, perfect counteraction to what Yami's going for in that aggressive move as well. It's a risky move. If Yami just stayed his ground, could have just gotten the kill and made things even more difficult, but Child King makes sure the risk will pay off. Coolest now accelerates all the way over into cave. That Tech 9 of his is his only friend. He doesn't have much at all. Rooks losing life as well.
I'm not crazy, right? I swear the last time we watched Rare Atom, which was not too long ago, actually, was with Child King being a B player, wasn't he?
So he changed
secondary
from B.
cave?
He changed from B to A, but he was B for a very long time. Yes.
Yeah.
Like A float is what he sort of went to.
Yeah, I could have sworn, even in our recent coverage of him, he was still gravitating to that B-bomb side more often than not.
No, they've been experimenting with their roles a little bit. Lei Hang's been trying to find himself in the right size of shoes, and it does feel like himself on the B-bomb side is good. Child King doesn't want to be the player who takes an E for that. For now, though, this round is all going to come down to Lei Hang, and he hasn't been able to get the better of Rooks. That early damage that was dealt doesn't matter at all. Rooks is able to get his second kill and probably final kill of the round. If Rare Atom have anything to say about it, they would like to save these weapons.
It was just so spread, and they conceded so much ground to the Chinggis Warriors early that by the time the Chinggis Warriors come away with kills that they're not supposed to, the Chinggis Warriors just get so much space, and they get their hands on rifles as well. I mean, the kill from Yami is substantial, but then, you know, it's these back-to-back kills from Rooks as well, just getting access to that M4. This was just pistols and Glocks. I mean, that's really not a good look. There was no punch. There was, you know, Ancient is a map on CT sides where quite a lot of the meta, especially on CT, is defined by how much space you take, how much pressure you put on your opponent. You don't want them getting access to the B lane for free, to ledge, to the entrance to cave. You don't want them getting mid-floor access for free. When you give away all that space, and against pistols, I can understand it to a certain degree, because you don't want to get overwhelmed, but when you give them that much space and room, if you play separated and you're not conceding territory while still playing kind of shoulder to shoulder, then you leave yourself very vulnerable to things like that. It's a big mistake from Rare Atom that we'll hope to rectify here. Summer's already gone to kill via utility, just by some of that lane pressure, via the early volley. And while there will be access to the ledge there for Ariukul, they're smoked off, and the Chinggis Warriors have to work off of this deficit and try and retake that space over at B.
Summer's been doing a fantastic job of the lane control. He's consistently been getting so much damage out, once or twice, gotten the kill, now being one of them. Kudus has to be careful. There won't be a flashbang coming over, but he's looking away. Lei Hang and Summer strike together. They will be returned upon, but the problem is still it's a 2 versus 3. Ariukul trying to find advantage for himself, but with an AWP on the other side, it's not going to be a challenge that Tiger wants to take. Oh my god, Tiger even gets spammed down to oblivion. Not quite the kill though, and they won't know this damage has been dealt, even if they can suspect it quite strongly so. 45 seconds. CT still have a smoke present. That's on Child King though, so it won't be near the B-bomb site. Child King is just cordoning off rotates.
This is probably a save. They're low enough health. Yami's on bad money, but the players that are dead will be able to get a buy around the 2 players that hold on to these AKs. So, I mean, Ariukul is running to the other side of A, but I'd be very surprised if he gives us an honest try.
I think Yami's going to go out and chance a duel if he can find one immediately, and with that, if rotations come through, you're going to have a real chance. Tiger is low as well. Child King has to reinforce. Yami with the second kill now just needs to stay silent. While the bomb is being planted on A, he will take the peek and he reveals intentions. Child King still unsure though. He doesn't quite hear the mysterious ticking noise, but by the time he does, it's still Yami to try and play distraction. Child King has lost the plot and the round with it. It is 4 for Chinggis, and it's all because of Yami's 3K.
Oh, it's not over just yet. He has a smoke and a kit available, and if Ariukul's not going to swing because he's on low health, if he doesn't line up this spam directly, then they could be in for a really bad time. He's going to stick the defuse. He'll try and chance for it, and while the spam does connect, Ariukul ties the bow on what is a phenomenal round from Yami. A 4th out of nowhere. I tried to make arguments for them to save. I think they maybe even should have still done it, but then Yami gets away with nonsense on that B-bomb site.
God, it's going to be a fun time if we're getting Prime Yami back in this server.
Yeah, he's had a very he's had a tumultuous career as well, where everyone's seen the amount of talent he's had. He's kind of bounced between rosters. Oh my god. Goodbye, Child King.
Unnecessary.
He's kind of bounced around rosters, and we've seen how good he can be, but then also we've seen some of the difficulties that teams have had in maintaining that consistency from him and getting other pieces on the roster to work. And I think the scene fully recognizes that he's almost too good to go. You can't leave this guy out in the open market. He's really, really solid. But if there can be some way for them to channel this type of output from Yami on a consistent basis, I mean, most teams would be more than happy to have that.
I can guarantee you every single caster in the world would also be very happy. A prospect that has been celebrated for so long that it feels like he's even forgotten at times now. But for Adam, they're trying to forget his impact, as they will be losing this one as well. It's a stack that has been fully dismantled, not a single kill found, no consolation, no shoulders to cry on.
I mean, the core of this roster is rather quite young. When people are looking at youth within the CS2 scene and trying to find prospective talents, and I think that's what makes the Mongolian scene quite exciting, is that there is just this wave of anywhere from 16 to 24-year-olds that have yet to really be properly discovered or have deep forays into international Counter-Strike. The Chinggis Warriors have 3 of those pieces on the roster, and Ariukul, Coolest, Yami, even Rooks, who's been kind of around the block. Oh my god. It does feel like the Rare Atom are getting quite a few opening picks for free, whether that's through utility or spam or kills through smokes so far. Well, making a lot of noise trying to boost up a second player so that they can double boost on the box.
Summers out about looking for another weapon. Li Hang will be happy to donate his now that he's red HP. It's a swing that's likely going to be punished. Summer has to find the punishment though. Coolest has not been taken down, and he just stays safe with this. They're back into dual territory, 3 versus 4, and the T's have space to reset. 45 seconds on the clock. That time will quickly run out. And they are making their move. Summer we'll hear it if they make any footsteps, but right now their destination is his face. Can their bullets reach on time? Dangerous around the Child King. Taking first contact, taken down by Coolest, who continues to be a menace inside the cave. He's not expecting a second player, will be able to spot it out, and Summers missed his opportunity now with his position known. Ariukul can look to pre-fire, but Summer gets to somehow. It's back to controllers. 1 versus 2, bomb inside cave. Summer protecting it. On the reload, he's caught out by Marek, who will inaugurate his scoreboard with a 3rd for Rare Atom and a 1st on his kill.
Yeah, I mean, good opening kill here from Li Hang, but then setting up this double cave opener with Summer, but then also juggling the weaponry because Summer was still on a 5-7. To have that double kill come out from Summer is really what swings the round, because it felt like he kept missing out on opportunity after opportunity. Child King came in to support him, clear and take space inside of cave, gets decimated immediately, and Summer is still mantled on top of that box and kind of cannot trade, only for that double kill spray down to happen. So it's a close call there for Rare Atom. I think there's merit to them losing that round. The Chinggis Warriors, they may get a couple miracles. They may pull a couple rabbits out of the hat, but not every single one.
Flash is dodged. Li Hang taken down. It's a difficult place to be for Summer now. He is being pressured on all sides. He's wondering whether it's worth it to try and get aggressive, but with controllers taking down Tiger, Summer is completely alone. It's a smoke that interrupts Rooks. In fact, he doesn't want to push through it. He's still worried about the possibility of Summer being right behind that pillar. That's what they're using their utility for, but the Molotov should be enough to force Summer forward. He goes for the dual will once again, winning miracles on miracles, but controllers is not a believer in magic nor madness. That madness will cease. Chinggis Warriors Rotate back to A.
Pulling the plug on this B bomb site because they've got space via Coolest, who's already sectioned off the rotate via a smoke. And to be honest, they might have continued with that B play had they not been smoked off at the entrance to cave, as well as having this space deep red. So their decision was encouraged quite heavily by the reaction of Rare Atom on these rotates. Yeah, I just feel like Summer is getting away with some far from advantageous duels. He probably deserves to die in a few spots, and yet he's still getting away with some nonsense. Even in spite of that, the Chinggis Warriors doing a good job of containing the play. The initial setup, though, from Rare Atom to push in for the flash at the entrance to Cheetah is quite peculiar because they don't... Oh, Marek is dead. Yeah, good Molotov there from Yami. But the flash that they set up is, you know, pinned immediately from the entrance to cave, and it's in audible range. We watch it from Rooks' point of view, and it's so pedestrian. He hears the pin, he turns for a very long amount of time. You know, he doesn't try and mess around with the timing. He just turns completely. He has a teammate with him, and when he turns back around, lo and behold, there's a CT running at him. So, yes. Looked a little silly from his point of view.
Death taxes and losing a man in B lane. Switching his Warriors. Doesn't matter what the buy is, still, now you have dealt with the primary weapon that was brought forward. Gula still playing control outside of A, worried about any sort of flanks to be set up for the back of the B assault. Rare Atom don't really have anywhere to go with this.
They might not have to go anywhere, though. Currently staying their course. That can be said for both teams. Maintaining position. Tiger's found his kill on the player at elbow, and Controllers has pulled a nade, and just like that, Li Hong has sprung in with 2 kills on that 5-7 and make it a 3-piece. Recovered AK, just like that, Rare Atom find the spark they need to reignite a CT side defense.
God damn. Li Hong and his 5-7 have been kind of beastly.
Yeah, he's gotten a triple kill in every round he's had it.
I think there's a point where Chinggis Warriors do need to have a conversation about, guys, what the hell is going on? And like, genuinely, what's going on there? I don't blame them too much for this one, right? Obviously, not great to be pulling out Molotovs as the first person making contact with the 5-7, but they're probably not expecting there to be a play over there. Maybe thinking, hey, could have been rotations away, more people in mid, yada, yada, yada. There's a million things going on. But
yeah, I mean, I would say when your teammate has just died elbow to a player fighting on the bottom of mid floor, you are assuming that there is presence in cave. That's probably why he pulled the Molotov, because you're not standing in the middle of mid when you don't have someone looking at your ledge in heaven. So that may be why he pulled the Molotov, but he shouldn't have. He just, ideally he shouldn't have, because compounded into a greater issue for the Chinggis Warriors. And it may still yet for this half as well. Money's not in a great position. They've got in with a pretty scrappy buy. And they won't have a ton in reserves for the final round of the half, should they lose here.
Summer's putting himself in another tricky position, but as he's forced to turn away, Rooks might have the timing. Li Hong's got the kills, though, as Coolest is now caught on an island. He doesn't know how to take the swing with a Tech 9, and as his teammates start to make a move, Rooks has already lost his life. It's a 1-for-1 that's not good enough. The CTs continue to frag out, and Yami's alone. A triple kill before was what was needed to try and save a miracle round. Now another one in a 1 versus 3. Tiger takes point. Tiger takes a bullet to the head, and Marek being the last one standing, maybe that can inspire some confidence in Yami to take the duel and win it outright. Goes for the swing. Marek will not fall. He perseveres through, and Rare Atom find 5 in a half where it feels like maybe it shouldn't even be 3.
Yeah, genuinely, it didn't look like Chinggis Warriors were going to get anything from that round. And you could tell from the way that they were pacing. They went for a B bomb site burst from the ramp side. You have a player that dies from in the duel at long, and there's no space being taken on the bomb side. They're not putting pressure on the entrance to cave. They're not actually scaling to the side itself. They're not hounding that trade over at long. They stagnate, they stagger, and only in the 1v3 could Yami have pulled something out of that round and made it feasible? Chinggis Warriors didn't have a lot of bite, where there was a lot of bark on that B-bomb site. Tiger, though, biting straight into this round with that AWP. And just like that, they find that opening advantage that has been the boon of this CT side, really, for the Rare Atom squad. Oh, they could be walking into a crossfire here. They don't have a Molotov to flush out.
Elbow spotted though, doesn't matter. Yami's going to be the one to just take the duels. Chalking has the timing. He realizes how many players have gone by. Maybe not the exact numbers, but he knows that there is at least a fair few of them. Boots will look to take the duel in the meanwhile versus Summer. Summer's caught out, traded 1-for-1, and Child King has it all to do. A flashbang to try and assist him, though, comes in from the CTs. They will start penetrating back into the site. Liang wins a duel he never should have. Tiger interrupts his line of sight. Otherwise, that could have been another kill with the aim Liang's been having. Child King now with that smoke in donuts. About 8 seconds or so left on it. Who needed to activate. Tiger goes down. Coolest being fragged in the back. Rather tagged in the back. Will still not be able to plant the bomb, but Controllers has done it all, and now over to the B-bomb side they go. Controllers versus Child King will be the critical duel, and Controllers decides not to take it. Child King's only path of rotation could be back in from B lane. That's where he'll access the site from, but in this 1 versus 2, the last round of the half, he's got no choice but to go. Speeding up, making no secrets of his location, even firing out pre-fires in case there's a wallbang to be had, but with the crossfire already established, Chinggis Warriors will find 7 at the turn of the half. It is a massive attempt from Li Hang, but it's just not enough. Great penetration, and Chinggis Warriors take the lead as we go to a short break before we're back with that second half. Assisted by 2 low econ wins, Rare Atom find themselves at 5 rounds at the turn of the half now as they head into the T side. Chinggis Warriors are hoping to close the lead in their own map pick of the upper bracket final of the ESL Season 50 Asia Cup number 2.
Yeah, Rare Atom will have a lot to prove. Only really getting good output from Lihang on those B-side defenses, but they're going to need some extra punch, and that's where you're hoping Tiger and Chalkin can contribute, but only way Chalkin contributes is via a death on the scoreboard. Controllers finding him just as those smokes bloom, and while the plan will come through here for Rare Atom, holding it down in the after plan will be difficult, especially with Controllers picking them apart. Space being taken inside of Temple as well. And while Summer sits on side of the site, Marek has found his kill from elbow, so it does eliminate one of the avenues of assault right back into the site. They flood through Temple, and Summer is still on the site proper.
Summer's got a backstab. Bowman's got the backstab. He's been a fantastic man for Rare Atom right there with Lihang in a couple of crazy moments coming through in Cave, Cheetah, and Lane for him, but turns out he's not a one-half wonder. This pistol round really well.
Yeah, they were so separated as well, and it's not as though the Chinggis Warriors didn't know that it was an A-side assault. They were in position, they got rotates in time, but even after that really, really late check and clear from elbow from Marek, somehow Rare Atom are able to get a very key kill that's needed, because if they had 2 players going into Donut, you know, I imagine there would have been some difficulty, some consideration there from Rare Atom in their post-plant positions. But once they found that kill, it changed the tide completely. Force buy here from the Chinggis Warriors, though, and they're already taking some deep lane control. We didn't really see this from Rare Atom at all. They just went for volleys of utility continuously on lane. And, you know, maybe in one of their low buy rounds, the one where Leon gets 2 kills on the 5-7, gets his hands on an AK, they did play a little closer to that affair, but they never got in their faces and got that deep smoke down at doors. So the Chinggis Warriors setting a very confident precedent.
Ooh, that's never a good start to things for Charlie King. We'll be able to dodge bullets, and that's certainly a helpful feature in Counter-Strike. It's not a feature that stays for too long, though. Yami will put him down eventually, probably going to switch on that MP9 for a Deagle. At least that's what I'd like to see. Bombs being planted over on the A. Bomb said they will wait for Controllers and Rooks to make their way over. It's going to be a 2 versus 1 in A main to start things off, and Controllers doesn't even wait for his teammate. Immediate kill comes through, does not reveal the fact that there are more players with him, and now as he recovers the Khalil as well, there's a decision to be made. Do you start to save? You don't have a kit. You're still swarming out the Temple players. They will not save. They will only save the round. Marek is all alone, looking to cover off the defuse, and he will not be able to do so. An immediate recovery from Chinggis Warriors.
Yeah, and I did think that was losable from the get-go, just because there was no utility for Rare Atom. They simply get themselves into the site. They had a Molotov that they used far too early. If they want to try and lock down the site, they get the space they need to. They get into after-plant positions. But I have to question it. Even if Lihang has had a really solid first half, what on earth is he doing inside of Temple? His teammate is aware Tiger is looking back at main because a teammate died in that position. Lihang is messing around with a smoke when he's got a Mac-10 in his possession. He has knock guns drawn ready, and when he is, his teammate's body is in the way, and there's, you know, he was thinking about pulling the smoke out, and it seemed like a very flustered set of decisions from Rare Atom, and Lihang in particular, you know, maybe could have, I think, had more of a weigh-in on not losing that round, but instead contributed very little. Of course, we see the force buy from Rare Atom in response. They'll be aggrieved they lost a round in that manner. I gotta say, Controllers has been looking dangerous on these pistols. Just dangerous in general, actually.
Yeah.
Alongside Yami.
15 and 7. And 17 and 8. Really bridges up the rest of the firepower gap. I didn't even pay attention to that till just now for a second.
I also hate that we put our player to watch as Child King, and he is not doing what we thought he could.
Well, listen, we said we're watching him. We didn't say we're going to be celebrating. Rooks, however, might deserve to be celebrated if he can hold down the line of a hair. Is good for 2. Yami and Ariukul add in the same amount, and with Summer alone, Summer's never good alone, Michael. It's always good with a pal.
Yeah, just to kick it. But Rare Atom may be kicking rocks here on Ancient. 9-6 scoreline here for the Chinggis Warriors. They get control of the economy battle early on, winning that force buy, winning the following round, and now Rare Atom are set to go in for an eco. So likely double digits here from the Chinggis Warriors. We did see a pretty rough round from Rare Atom on that CT side, where they did lose to a buy comparable to this. But I don't think the Chinggis Warriors are going to make that mistake. Well, they don't really even give some of these players a chance to properly shoot. But I love this. I love that the Chinggis Warriors are being far more aggressive than we genuinely ever saw from Rare Atom. It's not just utility, they're showing proper presence, they're throwing bodies in, and sure, Rooks gets his head ripped off by Li Hong, but Ariukul is still there to make sure it doesn't fall out of hand. And he'll double up.
I mean, you look at the frag distribution on either team, it is kind of similar, but the problem is, like you said, Chinggis Warriors is still just, maybe a little bit more cohesive. And sure, part of that might be expectable. Rare Atom are playing with, from what I can tell, Mark is a stand-in, likely for whatever reason. We do not have confirmation why, but, this is a 4+1 situation. Rare Atom, the last time we played against Chinggis Warriors was also similar. They had Zaytzi playing for them. So it does kind of suck, but you still have to make do with the cards you're dealt, and you can't, and to be frank, not everything has been Mark's fault so far. Most things happened, I would say.
Yeah. He wasn't on the B-bomb site when it was getting hammered every single round and they were losing a man advantage. But look how aggressive Ariukul is being. Him and Rooks combining for a couple of kills, and while Controller's lost his life in red, they've already put their foot down on that B-bomb site, so middle is the main path that Rare Atom will have to traverse to try and pull the wool over to the Chinggis Warriors' eyes. Ooh, saw a shadow.
Spot in.
Yeah, that's big. That could have been the way back in.
And now it might be closed down completely. Summer on the AWP coming in from behind. Even if he gets a kill, it's hard to double up with the weapon that he has, and he will be forced to pull the trigger early. Now that could prove distraction. Marek comes in with the actual Galil. Summer does not change for the AK. He is now having to hunt for targets. A fishing expedition that really isn't paying off very well. Marek on the bomb plant. Peek could come through right now from Kulis. He'll wait for it to go down and soon after take the duel. Kulis happy with the round. He doesn't care about any economic wins that could come over. He now only has to wait for Rooks. And again, an exhibit A of how well Chinggis Warriors are playing this, turning it into a 3 versus 1. Taking their sweet time with it, and now on the defuse, Summer will not be allowed to make his way back over. An attempt to save the AWP is all he has left in him.
Yeah, I mean, good teamwork, really, just genuinely from the Chinggis Warriors. And to be honest, they couldn't have even denied the bomb plant. And I want to shout out Ariukul in particular, because he was not only the one that aggressed down lane very early on, was, I would say even haphazard kind of about his approach down B lane, which I don't endorse. But when it came down to limiting the possibilities on that A bomb site, because they lost a player over at Big Box from the flank, Ariukul throws all of his utility out from Donut to try and distract, and he succeeds. They don't consider Coolest whatsoever. They don't think that he could have hit the timing that he did to get to back site. They think the next responding player would have been Ariukul and Donut, and that was totally wrong. So he, I think, secured the round. Rooks and Yami will shut down any attempts to get any space on this B-bomb site. It's a little flat, really, from Rare Atom. They get blitzed by utility, and in reaction, they try running at them, and neither works. Tried setting up for the boost, and they got owned.
I don't see how you're able to break into the bomb site the way things are structured right now. Aryuko's hidden behind the pillar, so even when the smoke dissipates and you start to inch forward, you're never going to be given that duel. Yami's the only one making noise. Rooks is an achievable kill at the very least, but with a flashbang going deep, they keep on just trying to play to delay. They've got a good idea on what's going on. The Molotov to force Yami out of position. Well, Yami was never in that position in the first place. Rooks is faced with a flashbang, but Aryuko takes first contact. He'll end up going down for it, but they've already gotten 2 kills. Rare Atom was never in this round to begin with.
Yeah, not a lot that Lihan can do to piece this one together either. Even if he gets a whiff of the shadow there, doesn't seem to quite register it. And the Chinggis Warriors will find themselves at match point. Or map point, sorry. Still Mirage and potentially Inferno to play. It's assuming that Ancient doesn't go on for a little while longer. Buy from Rare Atom won't be too substantial. But we've not seen really enough out of this T side to think that they can finally grace the scoreboard here. At least not past the pistol. One round in this second round. Far from ideal.
It's now or never, though, unfortunately.
It all started from that Lumen Force Spy.
Ooh. And Coolest never stopped. Feels like he's not been called upon as much so.
I wouldn't even really say he's really been doing a whole lot to me, if I'm quite frank. Yami was really carrying that T side.
I'll have you know, he's giving the meanest shoulder massages you've ever seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's been a hot hand, but he's been a hand. They all have, really.
Sometimes even 2.
Yeah. That's sometimes all you need.
Luke's able to suss out Summer's position. Summer forced back with the incendiary. Rare Atom have struck a brick wall, and they are finding out the brick wall is progressing towards them. It's not the other way around. This is a brick wall with legs. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Those legs are positioned inside the B house, and while Summer looks to explore in through middle, the problem is that the smoke will start to finish up. Duels are taken, duels are won. Now you're in a 5 versus 2 with awareness of what's coming in from behind, and up front 13-6 Chinggis Warriors show that Rare Atom never stood a chance.
Yeah, and very confident looking Chinggis Warriors. And, you know, this is, you know, something we've talked about with the Chinggis Warriors, even the earlier, you know, foray into international Counter-Strike, the chance they got at the major as well. When we looked at their map pool, it actually felt fairly limited, but Ancient was actually one of their stronger territories when we saw them against higher level opposition. Saw them be very explosive. You know, often it was fueled by players like Coolest, but with the addition of Yami, they have clearly added another piece that can take over and provide those strong contributions. But it wasn't just him. You know, I think, you know, the supplementation of Controles as this kind of role player anchory style piece is, I mean, he can have his flashes, but it really did feel like those flashes happened fairly often in light of some of the other pieces maybe not being as potent.
Well, you're going to need a lot more than just some flashes from Rare Atom as we head into Mirage. It has to be a proper fight back. 100% win rate on the map so far, but never against a team as mighty as Chinggis Warriors. Can they maintain that? Let's find out after a break.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could light the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. But you know,
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. When they hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. Oh, I can run this town. Don't you know I got the Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
Rare Atom find themselves down a map as we head over to their playground of Mirage. They are also down a man. I'm not sure if Kanze will be rejoining us for the second map, but otherwise Marek will be standing in tea time, joined by Michael, Yumi, Cassidy, as Chinggis Warriors find themselves in the lead. This is heating up.
Yeah, and a very strong-looking Chinggis Warriors. I don't think the game planning or the philosophy seemed to waver really at any given point. I think the biggest concern that we had coming away from that map was actually just how they seemed to react knowing that they were against a force buy or a low buy. You know, there's a couple of rounds where Lihang finds kills on the 5-7, actually gives a little bit more breathing room to a Rare Atom side that actually just aren't able to capitalize on being able to get as much damage and get away with a round like that under their belt. So I think the Chinggis Warriors are looking confident. They're looking strong, even if we didn't get the biggest of performance from the pieces that we're maybe looking at, like Coolest, for example. We're getting what we want from the other, you know, more recent addition, the bedded in talent in Yami, which is something that we've been wanting for a while for a lot of teams to explore, is making this guy, propping him up, giving him all the room and space that he needs, because he is so damn good, and he demonstrated that very efficiently on Ancient.
King was suffering a little bit. How could the player to watch? He wasn't able to get quite the same numbers, and we're hoping that on Mirage he will be given spots to succeed. Or rather, he can take his spots and succeed in them one way or another. Lihang had many a moment, many of them with 5.7s and pistols. Can he do so with a Glock? It is an assault out towards the A-bomb, so that looks to accelerate with the hands of Tiger finding a kill early on. You've still got Ariukul hidden away. Will they be turning around to clear him out? They will eventually, but by that time they've already lost their heads. Thrice over, could have been 4. But Marek narrowly evades. They are not aware of Yami coming in close and hot pursuit. Rooks is taking duels early. Yami waiting for the swing out wide, and Marek will be the one to get the kill. Quickly traded away Yami with 2. And Chinggis Warriors inaugurate with a pistol round win.
Yeah, I mean, magnificent work on that sort of bait and switch setup. A player tucking in at ticket, never revealing their play until their teammate has taken those fights initially from both ramp and palace. It is purely a bait setup, one that is designed so the Rare Atom side don't clear ticket, and when they disregard that, they allow Ariukul to come away with this triple kill, who plays Trigger Discipline at first, but then comes in for this flurry that completely discombobulates the Chinese. It's unorthodox.
Of course, for these two teams, we are still, unfortunately, without Rare Atom's 5th. Again, we're not quite sure why Kanze isn't here, but yeah, Marek will still be on the server. King swinging out wide, fully blind. Never a good start to things as you're trying to scale up into 2 players on the left side of A. It is going to be plenty of damage dealt to Marek and Liang as well. This round is over, even if the numbers might not say so. They will very soon, and indeed, here you go. Chinggis Warriors keeping 4 alive.
Yeah, once again, just nice, clean against the anti-force buy. Just playing it nice and smooth. I don't think anybody is taking too many fights or is playing too reserved. I'm liking the temperance of the Chinggis Warriors so far. Liking the level of intensity I think they're bringing so far into this game. Definitely playing to a pace that is, I think, more exciting to watch than Rare Atom, in spite of the fact that I think Rare Atom have pieces that can play to that tempo. I haven't really seen it so far in this game, from that first map even to some of the early looks here on Mirage.
Ooh, Summer. That's not a kill that it feels like he should have had, but still the incendiary, rather the Tech 9 can prove to be quite deadly. Traded 1 for 1, and you look out towards the CTs, they are all over to B. They're expecting a faster play to be made collectively, but that just gives Rare Atom more space to get a bomb plant down. They've got Deagles to defend, that can be dangerous. Let's not count this round out at all. The problem is utility on Rare Atom and how much of it they just have. Yami holding down CT, will spot out a shoulder, and now with a grenade, it should be another kill found. It is nades on nades, Molotovs galore, and while you wait for Marek to come creeping in from behind, it's only Child King speed 250 to defend. Marek audible given off, and Child King good for a kill, but not good for much more than that. Chinggis Warriors, some hiccups, but still 3 alive, and they're more than happy to close that one out.
Yeah, I mean, the big surprise and the only reason they come away with a plant and actually offset the initial setup from the Chinggis Warriors is just because of Summer getting his kill over on B, and he does so independently, and he does so with basically nothing. He just runs beelines for that fight over at Truck and wins it. You know, it really is as simple as that. There was no complexity to that. It was very sporadic, very individual. While the rest of the team weren't even really necessarily in a position to pounce on that A-bomb site off of his distraction, they still get the space they need to get that extra money from the bomb plant. And make it a little uncomfortable. Still, full buy here now for Rare Atom. The AWP is out, and it's in Control-Ez's possession, as everybody would anticipate. Of course, for those not...
I don't ask questions at this point. Controllers and coolers switch opping hands far too often.
Yeah, well, for those in the know, this is not usually the status quo.
Controllers has displayed his ability with this weapon before, and well, that seemed like a sitter of a shot. Tiger even slowed down for him. Marek, playing from behind the smoke, has an opportunity to push forward, will not look to make use of it. Kulis has found a kill elsewhere, and Rooks does the same, so Rare Atom on their full gun round will find no more success than they did on their pistols, some would say even less. They'd be right. Aggression from controllers. Timings could be awkward. Still, man turned around. He's the only one to blame for missing that shot. Rooks is pushed forward, and they know it as well. Yami's found the back lines, and that drops the bomb as well. So Marek will have to make his way back over. Lots of duels to take, winning out a few of them, surprisingly enough, but it's still going to be labored. And Rooks can still shut him down in the end. 3 alive once again. AWP can be recovered, barely just. And Chinggis Warriors are feeling happy.
Yeah, listen, I won't be gaslit on this. Controllers does not AWP. He doesn't usually, he doesn't typically. He got one.
I think he AWP'd for a while when Kulis wasn't there.
That was because he cursed.
Oh, you're right.
So
wasn't Controllers AWPing before?
Nope.
This is getting us confused.
He AWP'd last year.
That must be what I'm thinking.
He did AWP last year, quite a lot, but
okay.
This year he ain't been doing nothing. But he does pick it up as a secondary. He does. He is not the primary. He's just a secondary typically, but given his positions, he is playing it as a primary on Mirage, and he's still getting his kill, at least reliably. In for a 1, Ariukul does contribute, but Controllers comes in for a double, and from the back of that bomb site, Controller is unable to escape or find much more impact. Into a 2-on-2 where Marek is low health, but they do have space to plant.
Ooh. That's a good grenade. The problem is for the CTs, they're so split apart. This is going to be straight up 2 versus 1s. The bench player is going to have every moment to try and strike in, but Tiger reveals his position while dropping his weapon to switch out for the other one. Marek as well, just too tricky of a spot to fight from, and what was going to be a good place ended up being his dying place. So, yeah, 5 rounds on the board for Chinggis Warriors. Things do get sweaty, but if they keep on picking up the rounds, they don't care.
I've dug deeper just to make sure we're both not insane. The stats for Controller's AWPing are largely skewed by his proclivity for it on Mirage.
Okay. Because he was also picking up on an Ancient over Coolest as well.
Yeah, Ancient less so, but there's still a fair amount of influence there. Damn, what happened to Coolest? What happened to his confidence? There was an ego to Coolest I always respected, actually, but if Controllers is taking it from you, I don't know.
Ooh. I want to see Child King start to find something. You know, as much as I might say, hey, he's having CT positions taken away from him, he's in places where he might not be the happiest anymore now that Tiger's also been added to the pool. There's a lot of ifs, buts, and hows, but T side, he's still being given some great spots. Oh, it's early kill from Controllers as he gets aggressive into apartments. And Mirage proclivity is paying off.
It's really just started well for him. I mean, ever since he's picked up that ult, he's found an opening kill in basically every round. There is a counter onto Rook's aggressing from short, but there's Yami taking a timing from window. While he is a little trapped, he doesn't have a smoke that can allow his escape. Aryukel aggressing off short as well, just at the right time. And once again, Rare Atom will be back in a deficit. That is an annoying peek there from Coolest. Just took his chances.
Yes, the 30 connector peak. And known by many.
Yeah, especially because they had held mid control. They'd been watching for Khan and those reaggressions, but then when they're sectioning off the window and trying to deal with Yami, and then Aryukel swings from short, that's just a big enough distraction where Coolest can slide in and catch another one off guard.
This time out's a good time to remind everyone as well that this is not just a race to finding out who can make the regional finals. This is also a race for the VRS. Both of these teams are number 6 and number 7 for Rare Atom and Chinggis Warriors respectively. There are 6 teams from Asia that will get to go to the major. There are 3 teams left. October 6th is when the major deadline will come through. This is an incredibly important match. This entire tournament is going to be incredibly important to the major cycle. And with the way Chinggis Warriors are playing, they look like they might deserve the spot a bit more.
Especially because there's very limited things in the calendar outside of that VRS cutoff for them. So, yeah, very important, not only in this head-to-head, but also implications for the rest of the tournament. Controllers is on fire, genuinely, with this AWP. He's hitting every opening duel, but that is not translated necessarily to getting the rest of the team on the same page. May strike in for the first, but they lose control of that site, and Controllers doesn't feel like he can set a foothold down, but teammates are going through those smokes and playing around it. Spam is good, but it's not providing enough pressure or damage, and they lose Controllers in CT as well, so they've lost another avenue for a retake.
Aryukel also waits for the bomb to be planted before he rotates over. They're so worried about shenanigans coming through. Rooks, however, has to be making shenanigans happen. Summer gets the kill while blind. He already spotted Rooks out, so doesn't really care too much about that. And now with 3 players backed out towards Tetris and aim in, it feels like an impossible retake. You will have to have something magical coming out of Aryukel, and unfortunately, it's Lee Hang who delivers. Atom, really good scale onto the bomb side comes in. Despite Controllers' opening picks, you just didn't have the stopping power that the rifle was supposed to provide.
Yeah, and it does feel as though Atom are... I mean, they didn't feel that confident about the way that they were approaching that bomb site. They knew that they still had to deal with it. Controllers inside of the inside of Ticket, and they understood that they weren't taking enough space quick enough, that they expected reactions. But the good news for them is that the Chinggis Warriors weren't going to make any brazen, bold decisions at that point. And once they lost Controllers, it became a lot harder. It's far more pacey, though, from Rare Atom. A burst in through middle on a timing, and they will get themselves up to Catwalk, and while they go 1 for 1, it will pursue this B-bomb site.
He hang out and about this time, not able to find that success. Aryukel stayed alive for quite a while, but unfortunately Controllers was his only real backup, and the AWP didn't feel comfortable going through the market doors. Now they rely on Yami and Coolest to be points of aggression. 2 versus 1, but Summer's got a really good angle. We've seen him succeed in a similar position back in Cave and Ancient earlier on. This time it's a 1 for 1, but that might be all they needed. Coolest Buy space for controllers to aggress forward. Tigers AWB has to strike now. Is able to get the first, but it'll be the Aki on the other side. Had that been a missed off shot, you could still have seen a world where he wins, but not with the weapon that was left alive. It is 7 for Chinggis Warriors. A great retake.
Yeah. I can only praise controllers for his AWPing. When I see a kill from him every single round, there are some AWPers that struggle to get that level of impact, and controllers is in the right place to get his one. And I also love that they set up for the double flank and they played to bait each other. If you're going to double flank like that, it can be really telling as well. Teams that don't pull plays like that off very frequently, they play too close to each other. They try too much to try and trade, when one of the biggest advantages you can have is that it's unexpected that there will be a secondary. It's a lovely boost over the top mid smoke, expecting that it would get blown open or pressured.
Yami's been a tough cookie to crack as well. You don't really crack cookies, you crumble them, but hey, he's not been crumbling either.
Well, okay, that's a whole... I could get into a debate with you about that, but probably not the time or the place.
Rooks has substituted Yami, so that leaves his B-bomb side empty as can be. With smokes out in window and connector, you are also fully deprived of information, so Rooks will completely abandon B. There is no pathway back over. He has to go through market instead. It's a foot race, and it's one he will be winning. A quick smoke back out over into the apartments. Rooks realizes what's coming over far too late. With short control already having been forfeited, this is likely going to have to be a save for the CT side.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit annoying there for Rooks. He does kind of get ahead of the play, but even with 3 players on that A-bomb site, nobody is even vaguely close to having a sight line on short and the catwalk and any progress that the Chinggis Warriors are making there. So Rooks is just on an island by himself. Had to come away with 2 kills, really, if the Chinggis Warriors were going to be incentivized for a retake. And with the absence of that, Ratum do find that weakened site. They do capitalize quite nicely. And that all really stems off of just getting Tiger boosted to catch the kill on Yami, because once they cede a bit of control in middle, then the Chinggis Warriors are left in this this decision tree where they have to either try and retake middle later, or try and push an extremity, or go for a gamble. You know, those are the options that most teams go for, and they opted for the gamble, and it was, it's a conservative route, but they were simply hoping that Ratum walked into them.
Ratum now have the opportunity to build on their limited success. Tigers once again going to be going for an early aggressive pick. Controllers will challenge him, and in fact the incendiary covers him off for a while longer. This is all a battle of speed, and Controllers does not even come close to winning that one out. Tiger to take it home, and not just 1 but 2. The man is a potential phenom, and right now he is achieving that potential.
That's why Tigers are such good hunters. They are patient.
Marik isn't that patient. He still gets it done, Michael.
How does he do it?
What kind of animal is he? A koala? He just latches on for dear life, and Child King doesn't have a life that's particularly dear to him. Foolish position given up. It might be a mistake to come back into this A site to challenge him. It might be a big mistake.
Yeah, they may still go into this A bomb site, which is very concerning. Because with Coolest maintaining position inside of Palace, this is something that they should clear for, given that's where he was last spotted and got his kill from. And they didn't hear any fast descent, but they've not taken and kept eyes on this A-bomb site long enough that, honestly, Coolest could be in a number of different positions. And once Ariukal springs to life here, Ratum are going to be very pressured very quickly.
That smoke didn't really land where it's supposed to either. Ariukal can just defend himself. A flashbang overhead.
Coolest has gone through it.
Coolest to be able to go out. Coolest is going to be able to find this bomb before it's planted. He's down underneath. Liang is dead. Another player in the jungle was spotted, but Coolest doesn't register it in time. It's all down to Ariukal. 1 versus 2. Tiger is slow. He has to play cover while the bomb is planted. Summer takes his hands off the bomb to win it out with force instead.
Oh dear. That is a near blunder, really, from Rare Atom, but such an opportunity there for Ariukal and Coolest, especially Coolest. You know, Ariukal got his kill. Coolest makes a great play coming through that smoke on a timing where nobody is considering it. They know that CT is open. They know that that's the vulnerability they have to address first. And while he has the planter in front of him, he doesn't keep his eyes peeled for a second player. He doesn't try and milk an extra kill out of that moment. Instead, kills the planter and sets his sights on what he understood to be a ramp player probably holding for that ticket swing instead of finding a potentially easier kill ahead of him. Yeah, that was a real chance to honestly probably even just seal the game, because Rare Atom have been desperate to get opportunities to fall their way. But they dodge a bullet.
And Chinggis Warriors don't feel like they have the strongest bullets anymore. MP9s, UMP. It's giving me severe Brother vibes.
Yeah, it's weird to say it could let them back into the game, and I don't think that's necessarily the case, because they weren't favored to win that round whatsoever, but Rare Atom have been shown a light at the end of the tunnel. But they're not the only ones that have seen the light. Coolest is also on the AWP instead of controllers.
Let's see whether it works out. It's a bold strategy.
Lihang saw both players. He just couldn't shoot at either of them.
Coolest is still firing, though, and not for long. Tiger covers him off, and it is an interesting strategy to take the AWP away from the guy on an absolute heater. Ariukal, however, is also on one himself. Switches back out to the AWP. Can he find anything? In the meanwhile, he's just trying to buy some space for Rooks to come in and prevent the bomb from being planted. They're always going to be worried about this, but Lihang has got too many angles to take care of. It's a 1 versus 1 for Child King. He's normally one to be a pretty good hand on those, but he's got so much to consider. It will look the right place at the right time. Now with Ariukal making plenty of noise in his route back to middle, Lihang can shut him down easily.
Yeah, that was just another chance, really. Very fast on that flank. You could see where Rare Atom planted for. They understood that to be a possibility. I wasn't sure if that was based off of information that they heard. May have heard a step as they were coming out from ramp, maybe a player pushing top middle, for example, that they never found the follow-up from connector. I'm not sure how they pieced that together, but they were very, very conscious of that possibility. And it's good that they were, because, again, they dodge another bullet. Here's the fast peek from Tiger, catches Yami before he even makes his play. Let's call it mid-air, like a pigeon. So just like that, the Chinggis Warriors down that extra man. And the Rare Atom side could, and are more than likely to, recover this half.
Would not have expected them to be in a position to fight for 5, let alone to almost be at it.
I mean, with back-to-back close shaves, it's, this could have very well been a 9-3 type of half.
Yeah. And guys are still going to be hoping for one of those magic moments that Rare Atom themselves got quite a few of on the CT side of Ancient. That's what helped them get to 5 over there. Lihang often good to deliver. Lihang, however, now has to do so with the AK, and he is more than capable of it. It'll be 5 for Rare Atom. Rooks is the only one remaining, and he will not be alive for long. At least makes a show of it, but while he jumps up, he will lose his life. The Chinese side are still in their streak running, or will this be a second half Chinggis Warriors recovery? Let's find out after a break. Welcome back. A ripper of a half from Controllers came down to a slow ending. Yami as well, not able to quite maintain that same form. And without the big two duo powering Chinggis Warriors, who Adam had a chance to fight back. Will that fight continue as we head over into the CT side? The upper bracket final of the Asia Pacific Cup number 2 continues for ECL.
Yeah, and Li Hang is still ripping heads. He's had a phenomenal series so far, and it hasn't necessarily resulted in Rare Atom wins all the time, but gives him a strong advantage into this pistol round. Chalking getting swarmed though on this A-bomb site. While Controllers has taken some room and space, they don't have really a ton of players guarding this bomb. Summer does have that planter pinned in position with deep control CT and a flash to secure it. This will be difficult for Rare Atom regardless.
Good kill for Coolers, and as the swings keep on coming, Coolers keeps on fragging. Yami's there to put a nice little bow on it all. Coolers with 3 kills. Good to see him picking up the pace as well. Of course, he started taking the all-ping mantle as well towards the end of things, which I'm not sure if I love. Like, nice to see Coolers take it, but also Controllers was kind of destroying. So, hey, whatever. It's okay.
If he was getting a kill around every round, you know, that's actually fine by me, you know, if we're going to be really pulling
most of them are
straws.
openings.
Yes, exactly. If not the opener, the immediate one after. So it was quite perplexing, but hey, on the T side, I'm less inclined to see Controllers on that AWP. I'd rather Coolest, even if Controllers is pretty damn good at it. So it's something that's maybe kind of not necessarily flown under my radar. I was aware he AWP'd, but it's just I wasn't expecting the hierarchy to run this way still.
We got a tech pause, and I do need to ask you this. Because you said cookies can crack, not...
Cookies crack first, and then they crumble. You know, I would look at crumbling as the slow deterioration already on the edges of an already established crack. That's why I was saying I could have an argument with you about it.
So you were just being...
I would argue that cookies crack first, and then they crumble afterwards.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, let's see whether there's any cracking or crumbling going on. I'd love to see some cracking shots from either side. No deagles, that's generally what you look out towards, but
done so without much resistance. No deep util sets, no firm reactions here from Rare Atom. So as they start to collect themselves, they've still got 2 players set up on that A side. With these 3 on the mid floor ready to pounce, they do find some tags onto Chalking. That's only confirmation on 1 member. It's a 2 to 3 setup here for Rare Atom. And with those 3 players prevalently being on that B-bomb site, they will find themselves in the wrong spot. The bomb will be making its way to reconvene with the rest of the squad, but it's an odd route being taken by Yami. He ran back into T-spawn. It seemed like they were considering a potential reroute to B, but they'll traverse the edge of this connector smoke instead. And that bomb makes its way through, and they fall right into the hands of Chalking, who only comes away with the 1. That could have been far more devastating, far more disruptive, but they will get the plant. So the Chinggis Warriors have themselves a 3-on-3. Only for a moment, Tiger answers back with that scout, and he hits another tag to follow up.
Aryuko and Yami have so much to do in this 3 versus 2. You've got the HE grenade as well from Marek over here to finish things off, and Aryuko. Yami, that repositioning better to pay off. That AK needs to start sniping some heads, and fast. It will not be even a single to fall. I mean, that looked deadly even when Chalking had 2 players coming out of the smoke in front of him. The fact that Tiger then follows up with all that extra damage, those kills. Marek's got a grenade still. I mean, that just went from bad to worse for Chinggis Warriors.
Yeah, it really did. It felt like it spiraled, and you know, they got the kills that they wanted. They got the space they wanted. They get the bomb into the site. they effectively meet no resistance. The fact they're walking through a smoke though at 30 seconds and it's their own doing. That's, you know, it's a tough decision to make, and something that maybe would have lent them to go towards that B-bomb site. But had they done that they fall into a stack, and yeah, it was. If not for the stalling efforts of Child King and the extra disruption it provided, maybe the Chinggis Warriors get into better afterplants. But we don't deal in ifs, buts, and maybes. We deal in absolutes. And Rare Atom won that round. So now they deal with pistols. Chinggis Warriors trying to make a force buy work. And it'll be a full execution on this A site. The Tech 9 will strike first, and over the top of the smoke, players spotted. They get 2 entries on A, and the bomb plant with it.
This was not how the round was supposed to go for Adam, and the way Marek is separated from everyone. He's losing members elsewhere. It's a 2 versus 1. Marek had to find both, and now with controls to shut down Lihang, it is only corpses for the CT side left on A. 9 for Chinggis Warriors have been found in a round that was never supposed to go their
a team
way.
ace. Every single one of those pistols found a kill, respectively, onto a rifling counterpart. That is highly unusual and just as absurd. But that's exactly how things can pan out sometimes. Those Tech 9s can be ruthless, but the tag and the bag from Tiger and Lihang, the dynamic duo that has been fueling a lot of the rounds here for Rare Atom so far this series. But there's Yami, also with his contributions, finding a kill in return.
Coolest waiting for the smoke to stop, blooming in his damn face. And he asked for another one instead. He's going to go through his own smoke. The timing is good. No one's checking this. He's over. He's out. And Tiger is in the ground. Right back into cover he goes. Another smoke of his own, ready and prepared. Those 2 players on short who are hoping to exploit him are feeling miserable right now. Only Child King left alive on this A site. And even him not for long. 7 and 14. His struggles just continue. Liang, the only one left alive. Not very much alive.
And this is the you know, pungent point with the Chinggis Warriors, is that when we described them, when we looked at them for the major run that they had to Austin, the conditions that were laid out there were that, in theory, when that team does have everybody activating and, you know, all these pieces can be a little high variance, but when they're on, they can be so oppressive to play against. You know, I'm talking about the dynamic duo on Rare Atom being Tiger and Lihang, but when you've got this cutthroat quartet on the Chinggis Warriors instead, what are you supposed to do? You've got a number of different pieces that can provide firepower, ways out, and can explode into rounds. Rare Atom don't have that same depth and haven't demonstrated that in this series.
Coolest is out and about. There's Deagles in the bomb site. Lihang, a part of that dynamic duo, but he just can't add anything else. It is 11 guaranteed for Chinggis Warriors. Tiger and Lihang have had their chances in this game, but you're right, Michael. It's a question of depth, and they are out of their depth right now.
I don't have a clever quip for 5 players. Quartet was all I got. Rooks with a double kill this round, you know, even if there is to be a player you could look at as, well, maybe he's not having as much influence. Well, 2 kills.
Cinco de Mayo? I don't know. That's the closest I can get. A Cinco's 5. I don't even know what Cinco de Mayo is supposed to be. The Cinco de Fivo.
Cinco de Mayo is the 5th of May.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, call this team a summertime madness because they're Cinco de Mayo. No, never mind. I've got nothing, Michael.
Yeah, that's why I didn't try. And yet you still, like Icarus, thought you could fly so close to the sun.
For Adam, right now, it feels like they are on the sun. They are being burnt alive. And Rook's P90 could be the last straw on this already very broken back.
Yeah, I can only wish him well, I suppose. Controller's ult pick into mid doesn't find success. But that Rook's P90 is looking to take space and is looking to burst into this B bomb site. His target, Marek, in at the van. And while Li Hang spams, commits to the reload, they don't pull the trigger on that play. It'll be Coolest that tries to take contact first, and he'll walk the smoke. He got away with this play before, and he gets a different kill onto another player on this A site. And with that Molotov in the apartments, they're actually retreating just because Coolest has found that contribution. They know that Child King has been dealt with, and so that's one less lethal threat on that A site to defend.
Rook stays behind. This is going to be a 1-1-2 split for the T side. This is very doable for Rear Adam. Summer, however, is going to be vital, and unfortunately his vitality has been depleted. Brooks comes back in from underpass, and now he'll have to deal with Li Hang. Controllers was covering off short already, so that 1-1-2 has struck a few too many times. Plenty of time. Controllers is still hunting. He is out and about, and Marek, the shot missed. He immediately punishes. 3v1 on the A site. Tiger, this is not an undefensible position. You've got plenty of space to bob and weave. But these players are silent. They are deadly. Yami is on 9 HP. He doesn't mind dying for the cause, but there's a bomb being held by Ariukul. He will be able to plant it. Rook's playing oversight with the MP9, but both players... the one player is slow, the other... Now the M4A1 might have to be the real insurance of the round, but with Marek not having a kit, not one accessible to him on the bomb site either. No smokes, no nades, no nothing. This is not going to be a chance he really has. Rooks plays contact, takes him down. That P90 does at least strike once.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're hyper-fixated on it given the gap in the scoreline and what he looked like he was going to line up to do at the start of the round, but, I mean, Coolest and his antics at the top of Connector is really throwing Rare Adam for a spin, just walking through the middle of it to the bottom side of stairs to kill Ticket, to fight Jungle. He is catching them off on these weird timings, and honestly, quite a kind of ill-advised, borderline stupid play, but it's one of those plays that looks targeted. You know, it's one of those things where I'm sure they've seen in the demos that Rare Adam, when they see a top connector smoke, they react in a particular manner, and you know, a player doesn't make that many bold decisions in that fashion without extra information to go in tandem with it. So capitalizing on that, Coolest as well striking in with a double kill on this B bomb site, and while Rooks is trying to pull attention away from that rotate, Tiger gets his kill, but Coolest has instead slid in for a triple. Full hat-trick of frags here for Coolest, and it can't be a fourth. Child King has taken that room, but as he deploys util, caught just trying to pull his gun out, and it'll be Summer that falls right into the firing line. Chinggis Warriors breeze past Rare Atom in a 2-0 victory as they have a collision course against regional rivals in the Huns.
God, I mean, Rare Adam better hope that they've got something better to show than they had over here, because Chinggis Warriors walked all over them. Ancient and Mirage both felt like very similar stories. Ancient as well, you know, 2 force buys / low econ wins, or would give Rare Adam the 5 in the first half, and that's how they're able to get away with what looks like a doable scoreline. Second half, they completely fall apart. Identical situations here on Mirage as well.
Yeah, and it's no sure thing that they will play the Huns. Of course, Rare Adam, this is the upper bracket. They do have another shot against the Huns in that lower side, but if this is the Rare Adam that we see in that lower bracket, I have my doubts that we will see Rare Atom in that final. As much as I want the team to play well, it's maybe a little disparaging to have one Marek standing in. You know, obviously they had to probably make adjustments around that, you know, whether that's the AWPing department. You know, Tiger is taking a lot of those responsibilities, but then also Kaze likes to do it as a secondary. They like to play it positionally quite frequently. There were limitations to how Rare Atom could play, I suppose, against the Chinggis Warriors here, but even in the rifling department, it felt like they were out of their depth, and the Huns have really strong riflers as well. So I would only hope that Rare Atom have a better day in that lower bracket, but who's to say that? This could be a Mongolia-dominated top side of the Asia-Pacific Cup.
And for the Chinggis Warriors, not only do they continue to go forward, they continue to potentially close the gap onto Rare Atom in the VRS rankings. Only a 20-point differential between the two of them. You have to know that in their heart of hearts, they're just thinking both about the Pro League spots, but also immediately about, hey man, if we keep playing like this, we should be at the major. The Huns already, I think the Huns are like 90% secure because they're significantly further up on their rank number 5. But either way, this is an incredibly tense battle for a time when Asian Counter-Strike is at its finest and does have its biggest chance. And of course, if you want to participate in Asian Counter-Strike, you can always do so by checking things out over at fce.gg/ESLCS to start playing in the ESL League circuit and make your way over to Pro League. You could be the star of tomorrow, or you could be finding out what it feels like to play against the stars of tomorrow as well.
Yeah, you're either the star or you're just another obstacle for their path.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to be a stepping stone? I've lost to Senzu, Michael's lost to Mezzi. We all.
Hey, no, wait, we beat Mezzi, actually. I don't know if you know, but look at where he is and look at where I am.
Well, there you go. For now, though, we are going to be heading off. It's been myself, T-Time, and Michael Yumi Cassidy with me as always. We're going to be back very soon with the European side of things in about 2 hours or so. There's a lot of Counter-Strike to continue watching for the ESL Challenger League. Make sure you're keeping track of all of it. For now, though, we're going to be signing off, back again with you guys in about 2 hours or so.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame